Well, we should be live. Start. There we go. Yippee. The long-awaited dragon and Farley combo.
Yeah, they can't hear me.
Now they should be able to.
There we go. Hello.
Maybe. Okay.
Hello.
Everything is working correctly.
Excellent. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the stream. I am Farley, also known as Moshpup on Twitter and Tumblr, and I think that's it right now. I have a card, but yeah. Hi. You know me as Mayray and Tabby's Mods, as well as a person who does a bunch of silly, funny little doodles. And I'm happy to be here on stream with Shiro today.
Yippee.
Yippee!
I don't have a self-introduction. I'm just a sleepy little tired dragon. That's it.
I suppose I should do a bit of a better introduction for myself. But yes, hello. I am Farley. I am Dust Bunny, part-time puppy, dad, and artist. I have been an artist for like 17 years now, doing commissions.
17 years.
Yeah. I'm dad to 2 lovely little girls, and possibly to you too. Anyway, hi. Happy to be here. Pog to be.
17 years of drawing. That's quite a bit, not gonna lie. Usually I hear people say like, yeah, I drew 6 years or something, 7 years. 17 years I have not heard yet.
Hello, Migu, Nashu, Reginald, Tuna, Hota, Blister. Hello, everybody. And I think my boyfriend Kobold is also listening. So
It's
hello
the
to
Blister
you.
real. Anyway, hello.
Yeah.
Farley is the
Probably
MC
be.
of today's stream. The host.
No, you're also the MC. You got the cool channel that I get to be a part of.
Yippee. Farley is gonna do all the talking. Okay, wait.
I don't know about that.
But yeah, yippee. Call that.
Yeah. Been doing a bunch of silly little doodles over here. I got some shrimps and some isopods and some little
So
bunnies,
how it's
fish.
set up is Farley is on Magma while I am on Clip Studio Paint, because we're gonna be doing a little challenge, just a tiny little challenge where we start with the sketch. We start with that sketch. The prompt is Teto, so of course we're gonna be drawing the drill hair Vocaloid. Well, not Vocaloid, no, synth person. But we're gonna draw the sketch, aka line art, for the for Teto, and then after that we're gonna switch. We're gonna give each other our sketch or line art for the other person to render in their representative,
style.
Exactly. And then after that, we're gonna see how it goes and what differences or how different our styles are. especially
Yeah,
with the
I'm looking
sketch
forward.
and the render.
Yeah. I got a really fun way of sketching, and he seems a little daunted by it, so let's see. I'm sure you'll do a great job, Shiro. You always do a good job. And you've been getting better and better the more you've been drawing. I'm really proud of you.
I'm trying my best. Trying my
And you're doing a good
hardest.
job at it. But yeah, along the way, we'll also be chatting and talking about whatever we feel like. If you guys have any questions for me or for Shiro, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll be keeping an eye on that. We're all happy to have you here and happy to see you. Let's get into it.
Yippee. Okay, let's see. Booba.
Booba. Very good, Reginald.
There is no booba. Flat is justice. Hello, Overhealing.
Hi, Overhealing. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Okay, Teto is a very broad topic. Very broad. Broad. Prompt. Well, you know, it's the character, but pose-wise, clothing-wise, maybe we need to make it more specific. Like I said, I really want to draw the baguette as well. The baguette is a very important aspect, which I have not drawn on Teto yet. So red is a must.
Thank you, Blister. Yeah, Blister knows all about how I am. They normally join us on Cobalt and my streams. We'll chat and have a good time.
The dad of the
It's
internet.
nice to see you around.
Okay, but let's see. Well, the only specific thing is Teto eating a baguette. That's the
I
only
wasn't
real.
gonna do her eating a baguette. I was gonna do something else. Throw you for a loop.
We can do something else. I'm definitely gonna draw her eating something though.
Yeah,
It's a
for sure.
must.
You can. I'm gonna do something on my side though. It's different. Keep it unique for the peoples.
Let's see. Must start. Boom. Let's get this out of the way. Anyway, how did you start drawing? You know, because 17 years of experience starts somewhere.
Well, to be honest, a lot of my digital art initially started as me wanting to do anime art to start with. And initially I did a lot on bases. And, you know, bases are a bit kind of controversial. I feel like they're a lot less controversial than they used to be. I didn't really ever post my base art, but pretty much for the first, like, 3 or 4 years, majority of my art was done on this old laptop from 1995. I still have it. It's so old that it weighs like 20 pounds. It had to use a card to interact with Wi-Fi. It's like a separate, it's like a 5-inch long slip that you slid into a slot on the side of the PC or on the side of the laptop in order for it to just connect to the Wi-Fi. That doesn't work anymore. It's actually mostly tape now. But yeah, it's a lot of it was just me doing art in MS Paint with my trackpad that was half broken. And I just kind of kept going from there. I ended up for the first few years doing mainly anime art, and then for the majority of my actual like active art career, I have been doing furry art, kimono art on commission, and it's actually been quite nice. It's how I've been able to sustain myself for the past 3 years without having a regular job. My current thing is I will work like 14 hours a week. So I normally do like 3 days with 6-hour days and then a couple hours floating. And I am on contract and I get paid enough to sustain me and my kids. Yeah. Just through a single person, but I get a decent amount, and I'm able to sustain myself and sustain my medical bills. And I haven't been able to, or I haven't had to work in that time, which has been really nice.
Art can be sustainable. Yeah,
Can
what do you
be.
mean by
You
base
just gotta
art?
get to it.
I never heard of base
So
art.
art bases are this old school thing where people used to draw over like screenshots of anime or screenshots from manga. And let me see if I can pull one up. And they would essentially just draw it over and make the characters all bald and one color, normally in pixel art, so that you could use it in like MS Paint, and then you could draw over it with your own little character, and it was pretty fun. Yeah, here we go. So a base would be like this, where it's all pixelized, everybody's one picture, or everybody's in one layer, all the different characters are set up, and then you're able to draw on your own clothes and your own hair. Don't worry, it'll pop up. And you're able to kind of customize it. So I started out a lot with this stuff, and then I moved on to making my own art off of that. But yeah, it was a lot simpler time. I think that was around 20... I think I got that laptop as a hand-me-down in like 2008. And I was only in middle school at the time. Or no. Yeah, I was in middle school at the time. And I just kind of stuck with it. And then I moved from being on mouse in MS Paint to being on mouse in GIMP, which is an old art software. It's not the greatest. It still works. It's completely free. But I used to use the line tool a lot. Or like the line, because it had like an adjustable line tool that it did. That was how I initially started taking commissions. And then I got my very first tablet in 2010, I think. And it just kind of went forward from there. Yeah.
Like, what anime inspired you to actually start drawing?
I really love Lucky Star. Lucky Star is one of my all-time favorite animes. I also really like Cowboy Bebop, but as far as like stylization goes, I really, really liked Lucky Star. It was really hard to find anime when I was growing up, for a couple different reasons. One is it was a completely different time. Internet wasn't as accessible to somebody who was a teenager, and so a lot of the anime I had to watch was either super hard to find or it was super low quality in like 17 different parts on YouTube.
I used to watch anime. I think I watched like Chobits on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. Those were times.
Yeah.
Those were good times, I think. But like... no, I don't have any experience on that. Like the closest experience is actually just watching Chobits on what's it called, on YouTube. Yeah, the entire series, but you know, of course it was minimized and then the voices were higher pitched, so it
oh yeah, they had to do it like Nightcore style.
Yep.
I also watched 4Kids a little bit, but those I don't know. It was a different time. The 4Kids idea of how to translate anime was not my favorite. Like jelly donuts. Not great.
Jelly donuts. Fucking, I think that
Oh my
was
god,
a
you don't know?
Pokemon reference.
Yeah, it was Pokemon. Yeah. Was a different time. Or like where they made it to where in Yu-Gi-Oh! When the guys had guns, they just made it to where they were pointing fingers like it was Yu Yu Hakusho. Every cigarette was a lollipop.
Oh, the sensor. Because
Yeah.
like I don't really enjoy sensors.
Yeah, but it was also a different time. They were still trying to get anime to come over here, and they had to make sure it was appropriate for people, for children, and because all cartoons in America at the time were considered to just be for kids, they had to make it match up with the censors at the time for what kids were allowed to see. I remember when Toonami first started, it was a huge thing. Because it was actually, people were actually able to watch like anime with like darker, grittier tones at a time when it's not going to be just toddlers watching TV.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. The veteran of trying to scavenge for anime to watch.
Yeah. I remember a lot of times I would like search out whatever I could find. So some other earlier ones that I watched were I watched Strawberry Panic, which I know Hype is a huge fan of. It's a really cute Yuri anime. I would recommend it to people. There are some sadder scenes for sure. But it is very sweet. It is very of the time though, so I'm not liking this sketch very much. Just try a new one. Let's move that to the side. Drop it down. Figure it out. Yeah, late night Toonami was great. I was very sad when Toonami shut down.
Toonami?
Do you not know about Toonami?
Nope, I do not know.
So Toonami was, do you know about Adult Swim?
Oh yeah, I do know about Adult Swim.
So Toonami was like, an offshoot of Adult Swim where it was just anime. It was on Cartoon Network, but it was later in the night. And it was like the first real way to air anime to a lot of people. It was like the first time that Network was able to show anime that had like grittier scenes like Inuyasha and Yu Yu Hakusho and Hikaru no Go, and there was all sorts of them. I know those probably all went over your head for the most part, aside from like maybe Inuyasha.
Yu Yu Hakusho as well.
Oh,
Like I think
I like Yu Yu Hakusho.
I tried watching Yu Yu Hakusho. I think I watched the fucking live action, and then I started watching the anime after. But I don't think I got that far because I was watching other anime. Like I think the first time I started watching anime was because my sister was watching, and you know we didn't have as difficult of a time trying to find ways to look at anime, view anime. Since we used a site called Kiss Anime, probably.
Oh
heard
yeah,
of it, yeah.
that was one of the earlier ones that I had found. Sorry, my brain was like, how do I? It's not doing my pressure well enough, and I don't know why.
Like that's the first like site, anime site, I would say.
Yeah, Kiss Anime. There were a couple of others back then that were also pretty good, but they'd get shut down over time due
Yeah.
to copyright claims.
Because anime lived for a very long time and then it got shut down. And I got sad. But then I, like, you know, because I thought that was the only site where you could watch anime. But no, there's like, there's so many other different sites you could watch anime on.
Yeah, I remember having to do a lot of research just to find good anime sites that weren't just viruses. That was a big fight back in the day, was because ad blocker wasn't really a thing that I knew about. Finding anime on sites that didn't like destroy your computer was a bit hard.
Yeah, back in the day, it probably would be very common or very easy for those types of, what do we call it? Things to have.
Viruses and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
What did I do? This is not right.
Anybody have any interesting questions? Any questions in general? For your local internet dad?
Local internet dad. Didn't you say you were gonna get the better internet?
Yeah, so what happened with that is I had paid to get a router. And the guy came over once and was just like, oh yeah, it looks like the wires don't actually reach to where your box is. We're gonna have to put in a new one that might take a couple days. And I was like, okay, yeah, can you please do that so that I can get my router? And then they rescheduled. They said they'd come out, and they never showed up. And I had to reschedule, and they said they'd come out, and they never showed up. And that happened, I want to say 4 times, and I ended up just having to tell them, you know what, forget it. I want my money back. I don't want store credit. I don't want credit with your company. I am going to try and just deal with it on my own. So that's why I can't stream on my own, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would be doing it pretty much every day because I work from home on my art, and it would be nice to have company to share it with.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a
Like,
bummer.
there was no good reason. It was just because of the wiring.
No, it wasn't because of the wiring, because they did the thing where they messed over the wiring, or they changed over the wiring. But, I think what happened was they just didn't have enough servicemen in my area, or something. I don't know. They never gave me any reason for it. They didn't give me any updates on, like, what was happening or why it was happening. They didn't talk to me at all.
Sounds shady. Sounds very, very shady.
Yeah, it was a real bummer. I did end up getting my money back, though, so that was good. I'd hope they'd be fun. I used to stream my art back in the day. Never got very far on it, because we ended up having to move shortly after I started.
Mhm.
But I feel like I do pretty okay with streams.
The bread and mouth does not work. Now there's a bag of bread Just gonna hold while sitting down. How do you draw bread? I haven't really drawn
Big
a
tube.
lot of foods.
Big tube. I would probably stream mostly art, but I'd also like to do like I cook a lot. I've got 2 kids and we like to cook, but I also like to just cook on my own in my free time. So I'd probably do cooking streams. I really like baking. I'd also be open to doing like games because I like playing palm games like Stardew Valley, House Flipper, things like that.
Like, honestly, baking streams would be very fun to watch, I think. Like, hand cams, especially seeing how it's being made.
I used to be a sweet person. I feel like I like savory more now, though. I think I just kind of grew out of it.
Makes sense. I don't really enjoy too much sweetness, especially in desserts.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value to having a dessert that like tastes good without relying super heavy on the sweet.
Need to watch Farley play Power Wash Show. So true.
I'd be into it.
Just play Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people say that they'd be interested in hearing bits about like my life, or that I've had like an interesting life in their eyes. I know the other day on Tabby's stream, I had mentioned something about how, or was it Tabby's stream, or was it, no, it was May's podcast thing that she did. We were talking about how things that we remembered from our childhood that really stuck out to us. And I had mentioned that as a kid, my mom was a veterinarian, or a veterinary technician, and she had a babysitter that lived connected to the vet's office that she worked at, and so I would go and stay with that lady during the day. Well, one day the lady wasn't home, and so my mom had to bring me into work with her. Well, she was like, well, I can't just have you be out here in the main area where all the customers will be, so I'm just gonna set you up in this dog kennel in the back. This like at floor dog kennel for larger dogs. And it had one of those like great doors on it that was pretty much like a little jail cell. It was, I want to say it was like a 4x3 little box.
So they just put you in a jail.
Yeah, she put a couple towels and blankets in it, and I just kind of, I was like 4 at the time. But yeah, I had a leapfrog. You probably don't know what that is.
Nope.
It was like this little thing that you would put a little flip book in, and it would know what flip book you put into it, and it would read it to you, and you could touch different pictures that were on it. It was physical books. It wasn't like a screen. But it had a little pen, and you would touch little things on the page that you were on, and it would read off what it was looking at. It was pretty high tech for the time. But yeah, no, I just kind of sat in there and had a nap. And,
that sounds
we
so
had,
funny.
Yeah, it was comfy. I didn't have a problem with it. I had a lot of fun stories from that time, but that's one that really stuck with me. I was just, I don't know, I was in a dog kennel for a day. Yeah.
Well, the more experiences.
Yeah. We also would we would get a lot of wild animals because we were pretty rural at the time. Still are, but different area rural. We would get all kinds of critters. So we would get like coyotes and owls and deer, and at one point we got a pelican, and we'd get like horses that would come in, and
Horses.
raccoons. Yeah, because we would also help the local farmers.
Oh, I see. I see.
I got to help foster a baby coyote. His name was Wiley. He had these really pretty blue eyes because he was a little, and he was left on the side of the road. He got brought into my mom's work, and we got to take care of him until he went out to a reserve, like a wildlife care center. We called him Wiley. He was very fun, very cool. And for little 5-year-old me, it was very neat. We got to take care of a couple hawks, and those were really cool. They're big. They're a lot bigger in person than you'd think they would be flying up in the sky. They're very cool. They have very sharp talons. We got to take care of a lot of wild bunnies, some domestic bunnies that were abandoned. Got to take care of... I got to foster a baby beaver.
A beaver?
Yeah, his name was Timber, and he was so little that he could fit in a hand. And so I would sit on the floor with him, and I would bottle feed him, and he would make these really cute little noises. He'd go like, and just, it was really cute. We'd let him swim in our bathtub. He was a very cute little guy. I remember I took him to school one day for like show and tell, and I remember all the administrators and like the principal came over because they were like, what is this? There's a beaver in the school? That was pretty cool.
Did you get to
he
show
didn't we did, yeah. We didn't feed him wood. He was too little, but from him and the other beavers that we got to take care of, we found out that they really like oranges. They really like oranges, and they like apples, and they like carrots. Wood is just kind of one of the many foods that they eat. They are omnivores, so they'll eat kind of... They're mainly herbivores, but they eat like a lot of different things. They just have special enzymes that allow them to digest wood. And normally it's the younger branches of the wood that they actually eat. The bigger pieces, they don't normally eat that. They'll normally just use it as their home. They have these funny little cheek pouches where when they open their mouth, they kind of squeeze in so that they don't accidentally swallow the wood. So when they open their mouth, it kind of looks like this. It's kind of funny to look at. But yeah, they like suck in their cheeks so that they don't accidentally swallow it.
What happens if they do?
Nothing really bad. It's like not great for them to have older wood in their gut, but they are able to process it in little amounts. But if it's like a larger chunk, it can hurt them because they can get splinters.
You know, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. We had my mom's boss at the time at the veterinary clinic. She used to take all the orphaned raccoons and she would raise them. And because they were raised around people and they were too polite to be let out, she would keep them at her house. They had a little doggy door that they would come in and out of, and they would just kind of coexist with all the farm animals that she had. And so whenever I'd go over, there would be like sometimes up to 3 or 4 raccoons in various stages of growth. and they were neat. They have little hands, and they like to wash their food. So
That's
like
a
if you
Minecraft
give them
reference.
if you give them something like cotton candy, I've seen a video. We never did it because it was too mean. But if you give them like a piece of cotton candy, they'll try and wash it.
Oh.
And because it's cotton candy, it'll just kind of melt away in the water, and they'll get really distressed because they're like, "Well, where'd my food go?"
Yeah, no, that's just mean. That's actually just
Yeah.
mean. But I would laugh, I think.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but I wouldn't recommend doing it very often because they can lose trust in you. They're actually pretty trusting creatures.
The trust meter is going down.
I agree, Migu. They are very cute. Yeah, pelicans are crazy big. The pelican that my mom took care of, she's like 5'3", and when it lifted its beak upright, it was almost to the roof. And when it was standing with its face sideways, it was at eye level with her. So they are huge and can be very scary.
Pelicans,
Owls are neat. They make funny little sounds, and when they're babies, they can get really affectionate with you, because when animals are babies, a lot of the times you actually should give them a lot of attention and comfort and like niceties, because they're just babies and they need attention and love to grow. So like with baby beavers, you have to kiss them and make sure that they are cuddled with and treated really sweet when they're young, so that they are able to grow up healthy.
wow.
Yes, I did get to see owl legs. They were very funny looking because they stand up and you think they're going to be these like majestic creatures with these big ol' eyes. And then their little feet are just like tink. Tink tink.
Farley has a lot of parent experience, so
Yeah. My kids have seen lots of things and have experienced lots of neat things. They're very well taken care of and very well loved, and I love them very much. My oldest daughter recently got into D&D after school thing, where she'll go and hang out with a bunch of her friends and they'll play D&D together, and it's really great because it teaches her storytelling and how to do like character development for story writing, which will help her later in her school career.
that actually sounds very nice.
She was really excited. She was telling me all about her character the other day. She's just like, it's a dragonborn artificer, and she's really excited about it, which means that she essentially just uses the power of gun. And she's just like, yeah, I can make bombs, and so I sell them to my classmates, and if they're a really good customer, I'll sometimes give them discounts, or if they're like my favorite customer, I'll give them to them for free.
Nah. You got the favoritism.
She's very business-minded.
Well, that's how you get clients, you know?
Oh yeah.
Give them discounts.
Yeah, I was really impressed that she's able to, because she'll be 10 this year, and my youngest just turned 8. So it's really neat to see how well she's able to understand the rules of the game, and how much fun she's having with it. It's really, really neat to see. I'll say that's one of my favorite things about being a parent, is getting to see your kids grow up into like little people. You get to see them evolve and gain their little personalities, and get to see them flourish. And it's really neat. I really love them. They're good kids.
They turn into little people. That's a very nice
Yeah,
way
they
to say it.
do. And they get these funny little things that they really find important for themselves, and they'll like defend those things really fervently. So like if they're like, no, I feel like if I did this, I should be able to get this. And then you have to discuss with them. You have to be like, okay, well, we can't have ice cream every night, but if you would like to have it tonight, we can see about having ice cream for dinner just this once, and then we'll talk about it in the future. And if you want to try other things that are similar, we can do that too.
The negotiator.
Hi there, Focal. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Like, of course, I don't have any parenting experience, because why would a 19-year-old have parenting experience? But it seems like, has a lot of, what do we call it? I don't remember. I cannot find the word for it.
You were thinking of parenting experience
Mhm.
and how, as a younger person, you don't necessarily have a lot of that experience, but as a younger person, maybe you can understand how things would be interesting to see. Is that what you were trying to say?
No clue. My brain's small. Goldfish brain.
Your brain's not small. You're just distracted. You're working on stuff, and that's okay.
See, I'm almost
Lots of
done
things.
with. Almost done with my line.
As am I, don't worry.
See, I only have to do.
Welcome in, Black Blood, and hello, Focal. My day's been going okay. How has yours been? Any
On
tips for what,
parenting.
Nashu?
Tips for parenting, probably.
Oh,
There's
hi, honey.
kobolds.
Welcome in. I was just getting done talking about all the critters that I helped foster when I was a kid. But yeah, tips for what, Nashu? You talking about parenting? You talking about what would you like tips for? You have a little cousin, but you can't seem to figure out how to be cool, hang out. Well, my biggest recommendation for that is just to treat them like people. Just talk to them like they're little people. Sometimes you have to simplify things down for them, but honestly, with my kids, when they have something to say, we don't like tell them, oh, well, you're not supposed to think about that, or oh, that's not really. We talk it out. So like if they're asking about like how to play something, you'll just be like, okay, well, here, let me sit down with you and show you. Or if I don't know, if they're wanting to do something, just kind of interact with it. Join in with them, see what they think is cool, ask them what they like about things. They will value that more than you can imagine. Just treating them like little people, giving them a little bit of like validity in how you see them, that way they can understand that you like respect them. That's huge. And I think they'll think that you're super cool for that. Any wholesome kobold stories lately? Well, right now he's working on refurbishing both of the sets of seats in his Chevelle. So I'll have to remind him to post pictures later for that, because he's doing it by hand and it's looking pretty dang good so far. Yeah, biggest takeaway on how to treat kids and how to get them to think you're cool is just treat them like people. Goes for everybody, though. Just treat people like people, man. Give them the respect, give them some time of day. Make sure that they feel listened to, heard. And you'll be cool in my book. I know it's a struggle, hun, but you're doing good. Let's see. I think that'll about... They could be a hell of a reference. Have you seen Hell of a Boss?
Mm.
I haven't either. I've seen like bits and pieces here and there. Hell of a Boss and Has Been.
Oh,
I don't have
think
the
I watched
streaming
one
services, but-
episode, and that's it.
Yeah.
For the rest, I do not know a lot about Hello.
Take care, Focal. Glad to have you.
Like, drawing this
Your cat.
sketch makes me, or reminds me that I don't really draw or, put a lot of detail into my sketch, because I usually just go into coloring, and after that I just go into rendering, because the painterly style is usually just like that. How much detail in the sketch, rather do all the details later.
Sure, we can adjust this a bit. I think the torso is too long. Offer twin tail. Yeah, is there anything you wanted to ask me, Shiro?
Thinking. Like, usually I'm interested in, like, what your process actually is, because I have no clue what your process is, especially on art.
So for me, majority of my sketches are still in MS Paint. Something about being able to just get out gestures really fast without having to worry about pen pressure really helps me. And then I'll normally go through like 3 or 4 sketch phases where I'll just kind of refine them, change up things, adjust proportions as needed. Normally go through a couple of flipping the canvas runs where I'll just redraw it. And then I will I don't know, just kind of go for it. With me, it's kind of hard because I don't actually I have what's called aphantasia, which is I don't see things in my head. I don't see any visual at all in my head. Whether it's like what I know how to draw or like any stuff that I've seen in the past that I'm drawing back to as reference, I don't see any of it. I just kind of let my hand do what it does. It just kind of does. So it makes it kind of hard to explain what I do. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know myself half the time. It's really hard as an artist to not be able to like visualize what you're doing ahead of time, and so a lot of times I'll have to go back through and redraw things, because from an artist's standpoint, I know that certain things look wrong or wonky or just not as appealing as they could be. And I know that I have the ability to see things because I used to. I used to see... Yeah, I used to have the ability to visualize things in my head and to like daydream and to see things ahead of time. And I kind of lost that a couple of years ago. I do dream. That's the weirdest thing, is I still dream. I see dreams in like full color, audio, everything. But I do not see things when I'm drawing. I can't visualize it. Or like, I don't even have any like internal monologue.
You don't have a voice in your head?
I don't.
What?
I don't have any... Yeah, I don't have any internal monologue, but I
How
used
do you have
to,
a
so I
visual
know it's
library?
different. I don't know. That's the funny thing.
How can
I don't
expand
visually see it.
visual library if can't visualize? That's so. Honestly, that's
Yeah,
very
it's
interesting.
so bizarre.
Like being able to draw like without, you know, visualizing it is it's fantastic. I would say it's a very cool skill to have.
It makes things so hard though, because I'm like, I don't know how I did this pose, but it's there. So like a really interesting way that I've noticed it affects me is I don't see things that I remember, but I know that I remember things. So like if I've done this before where I've tried to draw a house that I used to live in. And so when I think of it, I know in my head what it looked like, but I don't visually see it. So like I could probably draw it right now. There's a little thing on the wall. I don't see any of it though. But I also find that my internal visual thing that I have, or that I lack, is at an interesting like fisheye almost, where when I do draw the things that I'm trying to remember, it's got like this right now. It's got an angle to it that I'm not trying to put onto it, but that's just kind of happening. And so a lot of times when I'm doing my digital art, I'll have to go back through and correct for these angles and this perspective that my brain puts on things.
I think I would
And that can make
say
it
like the way your drawing
hard.
is, I would say more based off reality, actual reality, because we don't
Yeah,
see
and
reality or like stuff as straight lines, and you know, we actually see it more as curves. Because especially if you look at one thing from, let me just draw it. Because like, you know, you look at one thing, for example, I'm looking at my mic right now, and then I'm gonna draw the rest of it while looking not at one place. It's very
I'd love
hard
to answer I'd love to answer that question, Reginald, but I genuinely don't know. So I used to have an internal monologue and I used to be able to see in my head. But there was one point, and I think I remember the exact day when it happened, where like halfway through a day, everything just stopped and it was silent. It was like when the power goes out and like the buzz of things that you don't even notice, like the TV or the AC or like the refrigerator, everything was quiet, silent.
Wow.
So I don't hear anything, but I remember things. I don't know how I recall those things I remember. Like I've got entire like lyrics to full songs in my head that I can recall on the fly, but I don't hear them in my head. I don't hear anything. But yeah, I like this right here. This is a house that I used to live in, and I know that it's what it looked like, but I also don't see it in my head. I'm not seeing what I'm trying to draw. I just know how to draw it from memory, but I don't know how I remember it. We had a tree over on this side.
It's actually funny. I don't know why. It's just funny to me.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like
unexplainable, but
yeah, it's just so baffling. Yeah, it's super weird to me too, because like I know what it was like beforehand, and I know that this is different.
you guys ever hear colors? No, I don't think I hear colors. But I know, like, I think in art history, what you call it? I think an artist could hear some colors and then they use that as a way to draw. They're very weird to me,
Yeah.
but at the same time very interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was, Nashu. You're just alone and silent, and like any conversation that you had going is just gone. all the dialogue that you've built with yourself over the years, or like the
That's so
different ways you
scary.
talk to yourself. Yeah, it was so bizarre. And then that also lined up with me moving. And unfortunately, when I moved, I lost all my friend group. I didn't have anybody to talk to throughout the day, and nobody at my new school talked to me. So it was just, I was isolated. And it's been like that since the 3rd year of high school, I want to say.
It's actually just self-isolation, but for real for you. You don't have a voice
Yeah.
to talk to yourself. Like, I don't know
so
how to
bizarre.
imagine that, you know?
I don't
How
even
to
get like
imagine.
music in my head.
Like, I don't know, it seems very, very incomprehensible, especially, you know,
Yeah,
you
for somebody
have to,
who
what's it called, experience it to actually be like, whoa.
yeah,
So
it's
this is
bizarre.
how it is.
I wouldn't want anybody to have to experience it. It sucks. Because then you're like entirely alone and there's no way of making it come back. What is the number on her shoulder? Is it O?
It's
04.
0401, 041. Or 20, no. 0420, I'm pretty sure.
But I guess I won't have to draw that.
That is, oh well, no, not 20. 0401. Because that's April 1st.
April 1st, because she was a little troll.
Yeah, basically. That's the lore. No filter, no cap, just let it run like how mine usually does. Mine isn't as bad. I found to cope with it just to talk to myself out loud.
Yeah, that can help somewhat. But it's just a way that I've countered it is I will just have videos or like sound playing as much as I can. Oftentimes I'll go to like old Let's Plays of like Captain Sparkle so that I have somebody talking that I can listen to, because otherwise it's just too quiet. Okay, I think this'll do. Alright, you set on your line art, buddy?
I think I'll do some small adjustments and then I'm done.
Yeah. You take your time. But yeah, no, it's bizarre. That's all there is to it. What was I gonna? I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't remember. I forgot.
It's forever gonna be a mystery until I experience it myself. How
I don't
visual
want you to
library
experience it, buddy.
if don't have anything in brain, or well, not in
Well,
brain.
like what
but
sucks is I had all of this. After I had it happen, I did like 2 years where I put myself through what is effectively just like a college level art course on like all of the basics, how to render, how to do everything. I just taught myself, went through this whole thing, and then I lost the internal, and I clearly retained it. I just don't know. I can't bring it up in the front of my mind.
Okay, I'm gonna save this as PNG.
Yeah.
Let's see here. In the meantime, I will send it.
I think I can just layer image.
That seems so cursed. Just the line art seems very cursed.
Okay, good. Everything's fine. Alright, I'll pop that in here. Upload. Where would it be? It'd be in my downloads, wouldn't it? Is it gonna take a minute? It's gonna go. Are you gonna do it? What do you mean download blocked? Allow. I'm telling you to save it. Please save it. Thank you. Okay, great. Now I should be able to send that. Downloads. Pop. Wait, what are these? What the heck is happening? Hello? What is this?
Oop. I sometimes click
sketch
on the
layer.
Google and then it disappears. So it's just gonna reappear and disappear once in.
There we go.
Oh, the Fuji Tech.
Alright,
There.
there you go. Open in browser. Copy image. Paste. Alright. Meeting editor is locked. Hello? Technical difficulties. Oh. Is that why?
Here he is. The sketch of Farley the man.
And then here is the sketch from Shiro. Very cute. I feel like we went for a very similar thing.
It's like sitting. We must sitting. Sketch-wise, very different. Like, I think my sketch is very,
Yeah.
very messy, I would say, rather than clean. You know, the aspect is definitely there.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just different.
Okay, let's see. Rendering. Like, how do you usually render stuff? Start with base colors.
I normally go flats, and then I'll just layer lock and add on my shading as I go.
Do you do the what's it called? What do we call it? You know, you have your line art layer, you color lock it, and then go over it with a, I would say, like, low opacity brush, and then slightly color the.
Oh, I'll oftentimes just actually fully cover over the line art. I'll do just like a color pass over the parts that are not outside lines. I'll normally keep the outside lines of shapes darker so that I have something more defined. And then I will go over the interior parts, so like where the hair overlaps or where the skin overlaps, and then I will do colored bits. Normally I go like a bit darker and a bit more saturated. Yeah, it makes things feel a bit more, I don't know, a bit more voluminous, I guess. Would that be the word?
Seriously. Feel like I am, what's it called, a kid again, opening up like a color in book and then just coloring in coloring in the lines, you know? I'm like, wow.
You could also paint over it if you want.
Yeah,
Take
I
a blister,
usually
enjoy your
start
breakfast.
with usually just do flats first, and then afterwards have another layer. Have good breakfast, sir. Like, blocking in colors is very important, I'd say.
Yeah.
This is darker.
what I'm doing right now is I'm just going over your lines a bit, making the shapes a bit more connected. I like your shape language. I like how you drew the little face. It's very cute.
I think I still need to work more on, shape language, because it's something I'm very weak in. Especially.
Yeah, but you'll get better as you go, man.
Yeah. But it's definitely a work point. I never knew I needed this in my life. God, Teto. What do you mean? This is the OG outfit of Kasane Teto. This is the first version.
Yeah, before she was a synth, she's an Utao, and has been that for years. Lots of years, in fact. Many, many, many years. I think she originated back in... When was it? It was back in 2010 on April 1st. She was a little April Fool's joke to try and combat Hatsune Miku. Her whole voice was a joke. Teto is similar to a Vocaloid, like Hatsune Miku. But she is entirely fan-made. She is part of a larger group called Utao, which is also the name of the program that's used to tune them for singing. And she recently got a rebrand, kind of, would be a way to put it, where she was taken on by a larger company and received a full AI voice bank, which makes her a lot more expressive than a normal Vocaloid would be. But essentially, she was made entirely as an April Fool's joke, as like a counter to Hatsune Miku, back when Miku was getting really popular. Brain Implosion Energy Drink is a banger.
It is Teto.
It do be Teto.
Like, I think the
Teto
first
time.
song I think I heard was... what is it? The very, very OG Fukitera song.
Fukireta.
うん
いつでも I love you 君にテクキスに忘れられないから僕
Exactly
の
that
大事な
one.
メ
And
ロディ
then he went on to, what do you call it? Teto Territory.
I love that one. Yeah.
It's a very good OG. Well, it was her introduction song, I would say. Like, the lore behind her is, something that really I vibe a lot with. What started as a joke, became a sin.
Became a beloved.
Yeah, became beloved by men. It's an inspiring story, to say the least, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Started out from nothing, and now she's made it to Kasane territory.
She became something greater than, her dreams, I would say.
Yeah.
It's very unexpected, especially for the rebrand too.
Yeah, I was super caught off guard by it. It's a very good voice pack, though. I was really impressed. It's the first time I've ever heard a Vocaloid synth pack. And I think all the ones that they've been doing recently, Gumi got one too. And I think hers is really great.
Soon they will be overpowered. I need me some brain implosion energy. I just need energy at this point.
I got coffee.
No, I don't drink a lot of coffee, I would say.
I normally drink it each day. It's like a routine for me.
I think only drink coffee. Coffee mentioned Migu appears. Typical.
Hell yeah, Migu.
Bean juice, that came out of the left field.
You've never heard it called bean juice?
Nope.
That's funny. Yeah, no, it's a jokey way of talking about coffee.
Oh, I see. Thought it was literal beans made out of juice, and I'm like, huh? What page did I miss?
Soy milk is kind of like that.
Soy milk is tasty though.
I like soy milk.
I do not want Teto to look like she's going to murder somebody. Because right now she does look like it.
Yeah, the way I do eyes, it's you kind of gotta get past the initial like, whoa, what is going on here phase.
It's like, calm down. We're not killing anybody today, just yet.
Let's see. Pull up her CG. Hope I can get a better. Okay, so she's got a Mandarin collar. Copy. You slept for 20 hours? I've done that before, man. I hope it was a good sleep. I remember back when I worked as a dishwasher, I had, I think, 4 13-hour days in a row, and that was after working a 6-day week. And then I got 3 days off, and I slept for like 36 hours straight. Not good. Not what you want.
I think the longest was maybe like 12 hours. Never heard of people sleeping an entire day, or almost. Did that after
Yeah,
my
I also had a
last-
fever at the time though, and that might have been a part of it.
Makes sense.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Still getting the majority of that color. I just need to pay attention to what side it's going to. Move this over so it matches with the body a bit better.
Drive safe, vocal.
Yeah, be careful, bud.
Wow. Like, so weird to be like, huh, this is not my line art, this is not my sketch, this is not my style. It's so weird.
This is not my beautiful sketch. This is not my beautiful wife. How did
My
I
brain
get
is
here?
like trying to comprehend, but not comprehending. It's like, huh? Like, what's happening here? Like, why are we? What's this? What's happening?
It's a good practice for you. Though.
Yeah, it is very good practice. It's very fun. Like, your mind is having a internal conflict, being like, what is happening? What is going on?
Glad you're having a good time with it.
Let's see. I don't know, it's just very weird for my brain. It's just a little bit of
Adjustment to get
adjustment
used to.
exactly. Okay, now we can start with actually doing the shadows. It is.
What do you think your favorite genre is to listen to,
Genre.
music-wise? Yeah.
Oh, that's a very tough question, I would say. Like, what I usually listen to now is, I don't know really the genres of Japanese songs, because usually you just classify it as J-pop and call it a day. But I don't think, well, I guess it's J-pop mostly. But I like the very unique styles of songs, I would say. Because those definitely do
I do too, but I don't know if you'd like the unique stuff that I listen to.
Could always give it a chance. Always give it a listen.
Yeah. I like listening to a lot of older Japanese funk. There's a really cool artist called Akiko Yano, and she does a lot of stuff that to me feels very heavily inspired by like Western musical stuff. Her vocals are very I don't know, she's got a very neat style to her singing. I can post it I'll post it both in Maze and in the Tavern so that people can give it a listen if they'd like to. I will say it's not for everybody. Just starting out with that. If you don't like it, don't feel bad. It's okay. It's a bit advanced music taste-wise for some people. I totally get that. I also like what is her name? I've got a lot of older stuff that I listen to. If you like instrumental jazz, Cassiopeia has a lot of really cool stuff. Their Mint Jams album is really cool. You can find it on YouTube. They've got a lot of neat synth sounds. They were back in the early 80s, I believe, like 70s, 80s-ish. I listen to a lot of older stuff. Outside of that, what do I listen to? I listen to a lot of like heavy metal and rock. I grew up in a family that very much listened to like American metal. I've been to about 30 rock shows in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been to see, like, recently, me and Kobold went and saw Ghost in concert, and they were great. They were fantastic. It was like his first big boy rock show, and they were great. Very theatrical, very cool. I've seen... My first ever concert was when I was like 3 years old. and at a fairground by where we lived at the time, Pat Benatar played, and I remember feeling the drums in my chest because I was so little. And so I've seen Pat Benatar, I've seen Def Leppard, I've seen Tesla, Styx, Five Finger Death Punch, I've seen Hailstorm, I've seen Nothing More, Papa Roach a bunch of times, Journey, I've seen Metallica, I've seen Shinedown, I've seen Three Doors Down, what else? Pop Evil, the list goes on and on. I've been to a lot of shows, and a lot of them were before I was out of middle school. So that's I had a lot of fun.
I think I only know like a couple. I know Metallica, the rest I have no clue. Very clueless.
That's okay. Well, a lot of them are older bands, and I know that you are younger, and I understand that you may not know the same music artists that I do. And that's okay.
Very understandable.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of good shows. Nothing More was really cool because they brought, during one of their songs, they brought a guitar up on a stand that was like up at chest height for the artist, and they started playing it like a drum, and that was crazy. The feeling and like the sound from it was so cool. I don't know. I've seen a lot of cool rock shows. Yeah, I've seen a lot of cool things. Been some cool places. So much to do, so much to see. What's wrong with taking the back street? Never mind.
I don't think I've ever gone to a concert. Really think.
If you ever get a chance, I'd recommend it. It is a very unique experience. It was very cool, Plankus.
It seems very fun.
I see. There's where you put the extra split. Okay.
Favorite
musical? Do you have any opinions on musicals?
I don't know. I just like them. I don't really have a favorite. Just enjoy, you know?
I like Hamilton. I like Heathers. I don't know that I necessarily have a favorite. I know the new Beetlejuice one was really cool. I wasn't a big fan of Dear Evan Hansen, just because, like, I don't know, the story in that was not my favorite. I kind of wish they would have stopped, like, halfway through, but that's just me. Yeah. If it's got good music, I'll probably like it. That's how I am.
Yeah, I think the music is obviously the most important part, especially when it comes to musicals. Like, right now, I don't think I've seen that many musicals, but musicals remind me of this anime. I don't remember what music it's. Anime music. Oh. Basically, the whole entire anime is just a musical. So they're just doing random stuff and then they just randomly sing. I'm like, what? What's happening? And it's very enjoyable to watch.
It's like High School Musical, the anime.
Yeah, basically. But I don't remember what the anime name was.
I think that needs to be shorter to line up with her hips more.
It's very underrated.
And here. These arms are a bit longer than what I'd draw them as, but I'll stick with it because I like your style. I tend to do longer limbs, longer, thinner limbs.
But let me me see. Oh wait, there's this one musical movie anime called Sing a Bit of Harmony. And it's very good.
Ooh.
Very good anime movie. Highly recommend.
For anime movies, I like A Cat Returns. It's very cute.
I haven't seen A Cat Returns yet. Shocking.
It's a Ghibli
shocking.
movie. It's very cute.
Like the first movie, anime movie wise, is Spirited Away. It's a very classic.
Oh yeah. It's a good choice though. I like Spirited Away.
And then Your Name as well. I think most people do start with like Your Name and Spirited Away. Those are like the starting anime movies.
I started with Howl's Moving Castle, and then I went to My Neighbor Totoro, and then Princess Mononoke, and then Spirited Away.
I see.
So I suppose I gotta draw this bread bag. Alright, let's get to it. There were some things that we were talking about before the stream, right? We were talking about... What was it?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Mind blank.
Dun. How have you been enjoying your time as a streamer so far?
It's very enjoyable. I think the main reason why I enjoy streaming is because it helps me actually draw. Instead of...
Yeah, that's fair. It actually holds you up to some kind of...
Exactly.
Like, oh, I've got to actually do this because people are waiting on me to do this. I think that's pretty smart, tricking yourself into progressing.
It is. It's like a motivation to like, oh, come on, just draw. Doesn't matter if people watch or not. It don't matter. The main focus is just getting better at the drawing, basically.
I have noticed that you tend to hide hands.
Hide hands.
Or you don't tend to draw them as detailed, depending on which one you're on.
Yeah.
Like on this one, you kind of have both of the hands not in view.
Like usually if I do draw them, I usually just put the blob of paint over it and call it a day.
Hands are one of my favorite parts to draw. They always have been. I just really like the shape language in them, and I feel like I can pull them off pretty well.
Like, it's not like I intentionally try to hide them.
Oh, I know.
Like...
It's a pretty beginner art kind of thing to where you like, oh, well, I'm not super confident in these, so I'll just hide them away and then I'll work on them later. No shame in it. I definitely was part of that crew too for a while. I think it's just a sign that you're growing. You're changing, you're learning how you draw specific things, and as you go through more, I'm sure you'll draw them more. No shame.
Indeed.
I think everybody goes through that phase in art. Where, like, you'll get really used to drawing a face facing to the left, and then you're like, well, I don't know how to draw bodies, so I guess I just do headshots now.
Well, yeah, the discomfort is definitely, what's it called, something, but, you know, discomfort means that you can learn this one thing. It's discomfort at first, and this means that you're weak at it. And it's not,
Which
you know,
means you
discomfort
can
is bad. It's not bad. It's a sign of like, oh, We just have to improve on this just a little bit more.
Interesting. I'm gonna try and bring in a bit more of her actual skirt shape into this. Curves. Just got those zippers that come up. And here. We'll use that as the reason why the leg is in the way. So that'll pop through. And then the zipper will be here again. We'll have the third parting here. And after that, we gotta add in little bits of fluffy under the skirt. Does she have 1 or 2 layers of petticoat? I think she's got 2. No, just the 1. And then it connects to her here. At this corner, which I should make a bit more defined. Sorry, having to talk it out because my brain decided it wanted to stop listening. Connect along that way.
Welcome back, Blister.
Hello, Blister. Do you enjoy your
Vocal
food?
as well.
And you're too full.
Sketching.
That's a good question. Yeah, I like the sketching and I like the coloring. Line art is always a bit of a drag. I used to never do line art.
That's me right now. I never decline.
And I still don't really do it. I'll do it on occasion if I'm feeling like frisky, I guess, or if I've got commissioned for it. But especially like fine-lined line art. Take care. I normally am not that keen on doing it. And I also feel like the skirt's too long. I feel like you gave her a very ankle skirt length. Which, like, it's great for painting because then you get to paint a long strip of fabric, but that's not really what her outfit is. Dun dun. Let's do this, and then I will... Oh, I disappeared. How did I disappear?
No clue. Might have been the reactive image.
Well, maybe. I am back here. Don't worry, I didn't leave for the milk. I'm good. You know what? I'm just going to redraw it. That's not going to work if I adjust it with this because I don't have the liquify tool on this. So I will just simply redraw from up here. Take me a little bit of time. That's okay. Oh, got it. Yeah, it's probably just because of the connection on my end. I've got really bad internet, and so I am having him stream me through a reactive image, and sometimes that might lose connection. So I apologize if I pop out a little bit here and there. It's not because I'm gone, it's just because my internet needs a second. We're good though. Let's see. Go fluffy skirt here. Bring back in some of those legs. What do you think your favorite part of the body to draw is?
Face.
You like the
Has
face
to be
best?
the face. Well, saying the face and then also the legs.
I really like drawing out the gesture of like a body shape. like when I'm initially going through, and the way that I like to draw the hips connecting to just under the rib cage, and then you go up into the rib cage and you're working out your gesture, figuring out where your legs are going to go. I really just enjoy the shape of people. And I really like drawing heavier set people a lot, mostly because I am, and I find that figuring out a way to express a larger body shape in a way that still looks soft and appealing is a bit of a skill that a lot of people don't have or don't work on. And so, I don't know, something about it's just nice to draw.
Yeah, I would say so. Not many people draw plus-sized people, I would say, because usually they are just surrounded by,
thinner folks.
Yep.
Or because that's what the appealing thing of the week is, where it's like, oh, well, small with small bust, small with large bust. We're going to figure out what anime character is popular this week, and we're going to do that body shape.
Yeah. Like, that's how it usually goes, I would say.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, and then she's got some striations in the fabric. Pleating here. I also really like fashion. I'm bad at drawing like shoes and stuff. I'm not the best at that. But I really like kind of alternative fashion and learning about how and why people draw things specific ways. You hear thunder. Oh, am I drawing this on the sketch layer? No, I'm not. Okay, good. We're good. I got worried for a second, but crisis averted. Yeah, I've been recently getting into learning how to draw clothing better, because being a furry artist for as long as I was, we don't really draw clothes very much, because a lot of the anthro characters, they don't use a lot of detail on the bodies, so you don't really have to worry about cleaning them up or like covering them up. But I want to get better at drawing clothing. I think that's currently where my improvements are happening, which is why I've been pushing myself to do things like ruffles on the Maid May outfit, or like here, where I'm making myself do the little bits of folds on the fabric. Art is like a constant improvement thing that you'll just get better and better at over the years.
Let's say so. There's
I
not
really like
a stopping point.
Yeah, it's just a constant growth, and the more you stick to it, the better you'll get. As for the aesthetic that I really like to draw, I really like alt goth fashion, like where you get the fishnets and the neon colors and like spiky things and metal and collars and cool things like that, piercings. As for what I wear IRL, I'd class it as like a 90s casual. So like it'll normally be a t-shirt that's actually from the 90s, and then like sweatpants or like a baggier pair of pants, just comfort more than anything. And then I have this really interesting windbreaker that I'll wear, which is like a pullover that has a big like kangaroo type pocket in the front. And then I've got a really nice old Letterman jacket that I also will wear that makes me feel really cool, because it's got these big poofy sleeves. And then I've got some, not Nike, I've got Con Air sneakers that I've had for the past few years. They're probably into the retiree point, but I really like the colors on them. They're the white ones that have like the iridescent green as the backing, and then they've got like purple and other little colors. And then I've got a pair of chunky New Balances that I really like.
Only not
Simple stuff.
searching all of this fashion up. Haha.
It's mostly just, I'm sure I would wear hats if they actually look good on my head, but I have like a massive noggin, so hats just look like I'm wearing like itty bitty hat on a big face. I look like a goober every time I try and wear a hat.
See.
Take a
Usually,
picture of the hair combs.
I think I'd like to draw Goss. Well, recently. Well, I did one Kasane Teto piece with it, but for the rest, I don't know, it's very nice to draw. Very frilly frills. Because you can just, put as blobs of paint, and then it seems detailed from far away, but in reality it just a lot of paint layered on top of each other.
Yeah. Frilly frills. Yeah, I like drawing frilly frills. My kiddos like wearing them, so that's nice. I get to experience a bit of fashion through what my kids like to wear. They're mostly into comfort as well. So like, a tunic and Crocs and little fun things like that. But, I think they're starting to get into like styles that they actually like. Which will be neat to see how they evolve. I remember my oldest, she was really excited because last year in school she got to wear a suit because she got to play the lead male part of a musical that her class was doing, and she was very happy about it. She thought she looked so cool, and it was awesome.
Male lead.
Yeah,
And like
she got to put a lead guest
play.
Yeah, more of a play than a musical, but yeah, she was really excited about it. I forget what play it was, but all I remember is that she had a great time and she was very proud of herself for getting the part and had an awesome time wearing a suit and felt really powerful and cool. And that's what's important.
I think suits definitely do that to you. They're like, you have power now.
Yeah. Kobold's cute. He wears a lot of Western wear. He's got these ponchos that I've bought him. He really likes ponchos, and he wears these cute rimmed hats. So he looks like a little cowboy when we're out. And I don't know, something about it's really endearing to me. It's very camp, but very cute. Very cowboy core. He'll wear like, I have a picture that I really love. I'm not gonna show the picture, of course, but he has this little cowboy hat, and it's him standing at this whiskey tasting with like a dress shirt on underneath, and he's wearing a little poncho, and he's got his spats that he made himself on. He's got the little Western work shoes, and I love it. I love the way he dresses up. It's one of my favorite things. Yeah, he's just there in his little cowboy outfit. He's cute. I love him. He's great. This year it'll be 5 years of us being together. I think 4 years. 4, 5, 4. I'll have to double check. We've known each other a long time. What about you guys? What do you guys like to wear out?
Very plain and simple. Usually just wear a hoodie and then cargo pants. Cargo pants save lives. They are the best thing ever to exist. Unlimited inventory space.
Very true. Just enough space to put all of your mangoes.
Exactly.
80s grandpa with piercings. That's sick. Plain clothing. That's fair. Nothing bad about a t-shirt and some jeans. I know a lot of people, especially when they're in the workforce, it's all about utility versus fashion. You like long clothing, Plangus. Does that mean you like wearing like pants that are a bit too big for you so that they give a bit of a baggy effect? Yeah, sweats. Sweats are also nice. Comfort is good. And fashion is one of the few ways that we can afford personal comforts during the work week. That's fair, Plangus. No shame in that. You're good. My siblings the same way. They don't like showing much. That's fair. Just kind of throw everything on. I've definitely been there in points in my life. But now that most of my wardrobe is stuff that I like, I don't have to worry about that much. Of course, it took a while to get to that point, but I mean, that's something good to invest in. Really nice pair of black baggy sweats. I like sweats that have the little jogger bottom on them, where it's got the little bit of elastic so it brings in the shape a bit. Because otherwise, if I have the straight-legged sweats, I have to tuck them into my shoes. I'm really short. I'm 5'5"-ish. And so every pair of pants is too long on me. So it's really hard for me to get, like, a decent fitting pair. Because, like, I also have a long torso. So my legs are pretty short in comparison. I think I'm like a 28 inseam. And so finding men's pants that work is so hard. Finding any pants that work is hard. I make do, though. Make do. Gotta get extra longs. I used to work for a men's dresswear store that specialized in big and tall, so I'm used to helping people with stuff like that. It's definitely tough out there for people who are too tall or too short or too wide. Basically anybody who's not like the ideal, it's super hard to find clothes. Let's see. That's that sketch layer. There we go. It won't let you say Bingus. Oh, it keeps correcting you to Bingwa. Bingwa. Gua. Crows say gua. Crows also say pa 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 pa. Crows are funny little critters. They make lots of interesting noises.
Never heard. I think I only know their most common. What do we call it? Yeah, basically. For the rest, I have no clue how they sound. Very not knowledgeable.
Video. Yeah, here we go. One of my favorite videos. I will send it to you. That way you may enjoy it as well. Bump, bump. And then I'll send it in memes on or in May's chat, and I'll send it in memes in the tavern.
Hello, Robin.
That way everybody else can also enjoy. Bump, bump. Hello, Robin.
I'll check it out later. Probably after stream.
But that way people can see what I'm talking about. Crows make funny noises. They're very intelligent creatures. Alright, time to color. That whole time I was just kind of adjusting the lines a little bit. That way I could get the colors in places where I want them. Because I don't normally shade very much. So I really rely on a lot of... What do you mean editor is locked? Hello? What is happening? Stop it. Editor is not locked. What are you doing? Oh, it's pasting it, that's why. Okay, give it a sec. Well, that's actually like the perfect size I need to pull colors from. Excellent. Gotta love when that happens. Alright, I'll just scooch that layer up. And start taking powders. Maybe. Could be a crow. I don't know if I'm 100% into how pale the color that they have for her is on this. I think I'll go for more of a mid-tone and less like the pure white that they step in with. Oh shoot. Okay, hold on.
Speedrun, sir. Speedrun.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Is it very difficult to draw on magma, I assume?
It's not that hard. I thought it was going to be harder, but I'm doing pretty okay. Coloring might be a bit messy. I'll probably render a bit more later, but... figure if I can get the colors where I need them, then I can enjoy later. Figure it out. Speedrun strats. I was too busy chatting. Any other spots that are black? Or boots? I figure I'll be pretty good at speedrunning by now. Considering when we're doing all the magma drawings, I'm normally like, oh, let me just pop out like 5 of them. It'll be fine. Oh, I have a question for you. I don't know. Do you watch speed paints by people?
I just watch a lot of speed paints, I would say. Well,
Do you prefer when people talk over their process, or do you prefer when it's just music and you can just vibe to it?
well, of course, them explaining the process is very, very helpful. But most of the speed paints I watch are usually just with music. Like, I think I can focus more on seeing how they do stuff.
When it's just the music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I may or may not have a speed paint file or time lapse file of that one Jade Ray drawing I did. And I've been kind of sitting on it, debating on whether or not I want to add in a voice thing. But I don't know. I might just throw on some music and have that be what it is. Speedrun strats. I'm gonna be missing the little lines, but I'll add them later.
Like, I think now usually speed paints, I usually just watch drawing streams instead of speed paints, because that way I can see the actual drawing process and how they do it rather than time lapse.
I would love to do that, but I can't. I am unable.
The Wi-Fi is blocking.
Yeah, big time. Big time Wi-Fi blocked. Big internet's against me. And then do her hair. Click this over on the hair. Drop that down. Unclip. Throw her on there. Murder of crows. Very good. Very good. It's illegal to own crows in California.
Illegal.
Illegal. In other states, though, you can get permits to own them.
Why is it illegal?
Cali has a bunch of funny little laws against things that you can and can't own. It's something that you gotta, learn to deal with. You can't own ferrets. Which is a bit silly, because they're just little noodles. But, I'm sure it came from a reason. Though I would have loved to have a crow.
This is California and all their laws.
Maybe I'll get a lizard instead. You like lizards?
Never had one, so I wouldn't really.
Do you like how they look?
Well, yeah, of course. They're little dragons, basically.
Just little silly little guys. I think I'd like to get. I really like blue-tongued skinks, which are funny. They do have the blue tongue, in fact. They're just kind of little sausages. They're like snakes with legs. And they can eat cat food. So they're relatively easy to care for.
It's reptiles. They look quite cute, I would say.
Yeah. Neat little critters. Her eyes are just the same color as her hair.
Oops.
white there could be that too. As for her blush, I feel like she'd have more of an orange tone. Which I think could also carry down to her knees a bit. And I need a layer for the bag. Make it a bit more of a muted.
Very interesting how to see someone else's process. You can learn a lot from it just by looking and seeing.
Visualize. I've debated on doing this kind of like shared stream thing with Kobold, where he would kind of just screen share for me. Since it's so funny that I have to like work around it to be able to do any sort of streaming. Because like it's working when you're capturing what I'm doing, but I can't do it if I do it myself. It's silly.
It is just a little bit silly, I would say.
Not hard. I need lighter.
But, you know, that's where creativity comes in. Use your brain to find loopholes and find ways on how to overcome the obstacle.
Orange towards the top, extra toasty. The browner bits. And then I could do just a little bit of shading. I think I'll do more of this.
Definitely see the what you call it difference in rendering, I would say, and the speed in rendering as well.
Yeah.
Like I think sometimes I do need to, you know, take a bit more time, especially when it comes to rendering and doing the sketch.
I normally, when I'm doing my little MS Paint doodles, I'll just kind of stick to whatever I put on the thing is what I'll keep. But if I'm doing something for a client, I'll spend the extra time. My coloring usually is like maybe a day at most, because my color choices are all pretty, I don't know, they're not like super out there. I don't do like any crazy shading or anything like that where it'd be hard for me to pick what colors I'm going to use. Let's see. Gonna go make another layer. Pop this on there. Up the opacity so it actually covers.
A lot of us are perfectionists, but we gotta realize that we just ain't built for this. True, hard, but we gotta make mistakes. We want to do things right the first time, but we don't grow if you don't fail every once in a while. Yeah, like that's the thing.
Yeah,
you're always gonna be
that's...
bad in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's something that I got over quite a while ago. But as I said, I've been drawing for like 17 years now, and so you go in phases. You figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and you get better, and you learn to improvise more, and it eventually all works out. You just gotta stick with it. Don't give up. Your efforts are worth it, and you will only get better the more you try. That's the way I see it. That's what's happened to my hardness resolve. And then this needs to come down a little more. Because you can always fix things after. It's not like you have to get everything right on the first go. Grab this. We're gonna drop the tone a bit. Or actually, maybe I'll lighten this part, because my color is a bit light to go super dark on these shading portions. So I'll just lighten that up, and that'll save me some of the extra issues that I might have run into if I didn't do that. I think that's a little too light, but I'll fix that later. For now, though, I think that'll about do it, maybe. I didn't do the box. I am sorry for not doing the box, but
How dare
I
you?
did the Miku. I did the Teto. I almost said the Miku, and I was like, that's not right. That's not who we're drawing. I should be very insulted if I said that.
Don't ever insult her like that.
Yeah, I'll end it there. I don't want to make you wait more. Should we do an ending doodle of sorts?
No doing
Oh,
of
quick.
sorts. Well, first, I'm gonna screenshot this real quick. And then,
I can send it to you. You're good.
Yeah, send it to me first. Huh? So I wanna do it, you know, see the comparison between the two, because I don't know, it would be very interesting, I would say.
Yeah, I am probably going to refine it a bit more and send you a better updated one where I've got the actual shading down, but for now, this will be fine. I feel like I retained enough of your style in it that it still feels like a you kind of thing. It's not the same rendering by any means. I look forward to seeing how that pixel art goes, Blister. Aw, the way you did the little Teto is good. You should send that to me too.
Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. We need to copy this first. Hard work. What happened here, sir? Okay, now to save as a PNG.
I see you went for more of a cel-shaded approach.
Yeah, my
Very
brain
cute.
was like, huh, what's happening?
Panic!
It's
Panic!
like, how painful. Like, my brain was like, no, you have to stick with the line. You have to. And then I was like, sure, I'll stick with the lines. No. Think, that's, with my sketch, usually, I'm like, oh, well, the lines are just there, basically. They're not a, what do you call it? The
Hard set
stopping
thing.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I see clean line art, I'm like, oh, I have to draw into clean lines. Otherwise,
I ended up
it's not
turning yours into a
satisfying.
bit of a clean line art.
But I can, you can learn a lot from this. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like especially here, this part, I'm like, whoa, that's actually so big brain. And it's like, because this is already straight, this is straight, this is straight. And you just have this one tiny little thing that is,
A little kick up.
yeah, and it changes changes the overall dynamic by a lot.
Makes it a little bit more playful.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't really draw a lot of people sitting down, so that was also a challenge. And then I see like here, like, oh, this is how to draw it, they see. I'm like, I can learn a lot from this. But overall, style-wise, very different, especially for a sketch. Like, you had the sketch, I rendered it in, and I'm like, oh, so confusing. My brain can't comprehend, but I still try to do my painterly style. And it turned out pretty good, I would say.
When you're not used to it, the chibi stuff with the thicker lines can be very difficult to get a hang of.
Exactly. I'm like,
I think you did a good job, though. I think it's really cute.
My brain couldn't comprehend what was happening, but I still tried, doing the painterly style. I did the eyes. I really like the eyes a lot.
Yeah.
And then
I think you did a really good job.
Just a little bit. Like, you can definitely see the difference,
Yeah.
Like, of course, yours is not like fully rendered in yet. That will come later. You can definitely already see the difference in how I would render versus how you would what's it called?
I would color it in.
Yeah.
MS Paint does work with a drawing tablet. It does not have pressure sensitivity. Sorry, Focal asked me a question about MS Paint.
It's a very it's a very interesting experiment, to say the least. I want to do this with more people, I would say.
I think this would be a neat way to experiment with people. I think this would be a really fun kind of collaboration thing, because then people can put their own spin on each other's styles, and you get kind of a feel for how the other person works. Now, if I wanted to really mess around with you, I could have sent you the initial sketch of what I did, which is not that one here, because this is normally how I'd start my oops, not that, let me grab it, let me hide all these Teto ones. Potatoes. Mash them, stick in a stew. No, it's boil and mash them, stick in a stew. My brain's not remembering. How am I gonna get into that? There we go. There's the baguettes. So when I'm doing my initial overall sketching, I'll do a very rough setup in MS Paint, which will be like this guy here, and then I'll apply all my little extras after that. I just get kind of my main gesture down. I have another one that I'm working on currently that also might confuse you a bit. Let me grab that and get you a look at that so you can see kind of what I mean. So this one here I've been working on for a little bit, just in the sketch phases. But you can get down the gestures really well with a lot of the lower, lower res artwork. I feel like it's harder for people with painterly styles to get into that, but a lot of it's just me putting in the shapes. It's like blobs of color for you.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I think I've definitely seen a lot of painterly people drawing this way. Usually, it's they do this as a sketch, and then they use that sketch as a guideline, basically, for blocking in colors and stuff. But it's very interesting to see how you do your gestures and stuff. I recently started to do gestures as well. I want to learn how to do them. because it seems very, very useful, especially just for drawing character poses.
Yeah, I'd recommend trying out croquis, where you just try and get the gestures of somebody's body down in a couple lines, or in as few lines as you can. I feel like that's a really positive way to work on your gestures. So there's this one channel called Croquis Cafe on YouTube. Majority of it is nude models because that's generally how you get the best gestures for when you're studying for poses and how the anatomy works with each other.
Makes sense though.
But essentially, you'll just be drawing, like, if I do it here now, say I have a person standing. You have to take into account how their hips interact with their rib cage and how their body is twisting or contorting, or like if they're sitting, how their stomach will squash, how their body interacts in all the different little ways, how you kind of lose visibility of certain parts behind others. Person is like hugging their own legs, kind of they're hunched over. I'd go for something like this, and I have the legs kind of bunched up here, put the elbow here, and then in my brain,
those kind of gestures are very, very, very nice to look at, I would say so.
Yeah.
Like the very dynamic ones, I would say. Like construction-wise, I also need to work on that just a little bit, but that will be for later. Must level up slowly but surely.
And you've already leveled up quite a bit.
Must level up more. Must level up more.
I've been really impressed with how your growth has been going.
Yeah, but you have to appreciate your current level as well, and the tiny little steps you take towards actually improving. So I'm very I do that quite a lot now as well. Looking back at how my art was like half a year ago, I would say, and compared till now, it's definitely improved by quite a bit. Started doing a silhouettes thing for gestures. I don't know if it's an effective practice, but it has helped me. Like anything, like any practice that you do, you will definitely learn something out of it, even if it's a very small thing. Like,
take care, Focal.
It is. That's how you level up, basically. There's definitely have been studies where, like, I rendered it fully, and now I'm like, oh, all I got out of this was this thing, but this small little thing, like, definitely, improved my. Maybe sketching, maybe, coloring, maybe rendering. But yeah, it is what it is. But let's do one small, ending doodle, I would say.
What are we gonna doodle?
I don't know. What is there to ending doodle?
What do you guys think we should draw?
Like usually I would do ending haikus, but ending doodles are indeed very, very fun to do.
You could do an ending haiku if you wanted.
Let's see. Haiku or ending doodle. Coin flip time. Heads. Coin. Heads is haiku. Tails is ending doodle. It's tails. Ending doodle. Honestly, let's just draw the skink, the blue-tongued skink.
Oh, sick! Yeah, we can draw one of those.
Time to draw my animal. Time to draw an animal.
Yes, animal time. You can draw them as silly as you like, or as serious as you like. Probably make it bigger for people. I have habit of drawing pretty small on these.
There we go. Mine is done.
And then just big sausage body.
We love little silly goobers.
Little silly goobers. Flip. They are very sheep. That's the best way I can describe it. They're just kind of a tube. There's also the alligator skink, which are cool. They've got like weird little spikes all over their foreheads. They look like little dragon, like extra dragon.
Oh, these. They actually just look like little dragons. Fire skink, red-eyed croc skink. Zoom in. There we go. Another successful day of drawing Teto, and then also a blue tongue skink. Yippee yippee!
Yippee yippee!
And with that, I think I'm gonna end this stream.
Yeah.
Because it's
Thank you all for joining
half
us.
past. I mean, half. How do you say it? No clue. It's late. I would say.
Yeah.
But it was very fun to see, and you know, how different styles can combine into something entirely different. And I'll definitely be doing this again with other artists.
Or whoever
probably.
you collab with next. Yeah.
Because it's a very interesting thing to see. But yeah, thank you guys for coming and watching. And hopefully we can collab maybe another time.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we play a game or something.
Game sounds fun. Yeah, Otsushiro. See you all till
Bye-bye.
next stream. Bye.